What's up, guys? Yes, today is the day, the big fight that we all have been waiting for. All right. I apologize. This video has come late. It's been a lot going on. Last night went to the Colorado Houston game. Got our butts kicked. Went to the casino, gambled. Long night, falling asleep. So yeah, I'm going to take a nap here probably after doing this video. All right, time the weekend alert for the fight tonight. And some of you guys have been messaging me, asking about this fight. Want to know my thoughts, my feelings, guys. I will, tell you how I think the fight is gonna go, and where I'm leaning. But guys, and full disclosure, I keep it real with y'all all the time. All right. This is a fight for the most part that I am just enjoying as a fan. All right. And to be honest, I would encourage all of you to do the same. All right. Um, there are certain fights, man, where, it's really not worth playing and you should just enjoy as a fan. To me, this is one of them. All right. First off, Terrence Crawford is underdog in this fight, which he should be. It's not like we can get a plus 400, plus 500 or higher on Terrence Crawford. No. If it was those kind of odds, then yes, I would be tempted to play him on the money line. But the odds on the money line are close. I'm not touching Terrence Crawford on the money line. The only real super value on him in this fight is for him to win by knockout, which I am not predicting will happen. All right. Um, there really just isn't no value in this fight except for two things. The only two things that I played in this fight. All right. One being, and the biggest value, the draw. All right. And hell, the odds makers are not stupid. No real big number on the draw. Now, I played it at the beginning of the week. I got a plus 1600 on DraftKings. I highly doubt you can still get a plus 1600 because last time I checked, it had dropped on DraftKings. It had dropped pretty much everywhere. So, if you have not played the draw and you're interested in that, look around at all your sports books that you use and go with the highest number and put a little something on it. All right. I did not go crazy on the draw. I put a small amount that I can afford to lose. All right. Um, the other thing that I played in this fight is for the fight to not go the distance. And I put in a parlay with one of my other big plays coming up, which I will discuss, in the future. And there's a reason why I'm not talking about it right now, which I will talk about that in the future. But guys, uh, you know, there is a knockout incentive in this fight. I think a lot of people may have forgotten that. All right. Um, remember when this fight was announced, they were doing the early press conferences. Dana and Turkey were talking about, offering a knockout incentive for this fight for either guy. Whoever got the knockout would get paid some, big time bonus. All right. The last time I checked, AI could not tell me what that bonus was. That info had not been revealed. you know. But keep that in mind, guys. I think both men will be motivated to get a stoppage in this fight. Um, and I think that there's a chance that it could happen. Again, not a big play. I'm not, just a small fun play. Parlay with something. If you want to throw it to parlay with something, you can, do that. Not do a big bet on that. All right, because neither one of these guys have been stopped. Um, so and officially, I don't think either one has ever been dropped. I mean, Crawford was dropped by a couple losses, but the ref didn't count it. So, but so there is a risk in doing that. But we do have a smaller weight fighter moving up. Fighting a higher weight fighter for the first time. Now, as I said, I'm not really betting this fight in two small plays. The only things I played the draw, the fight not going the distance. The only value I saw on the board. Um, but having said that, guys, how do I see this fight playing out? All right. When Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence in my post fight, I talked about this fight. I said that if they made that fight, I knew who I was picking and how I felt will win and how. Um, guys, at that time, I was going with Crawford, and hell, I even thought Crawford had a chance at stopping Canelo. You know, um, because he was such a dominant fighter. He had pound for pound punching power. All these things, man. So, I was going with Crawford heavy, man. You know, and then what happened, guys? He went up to 54 in his only fight at 54. Um, fought Madrimov, and for the first time, Terrence Crawford looked human in a boxing ring. All right, um, he was not dominant, and truth be told, I had him losing that fight. He clearly looked like the smaller fighter. He was not as dominant as in the lower weight classes. He was not as powerful. He didn't have Madrimov busted up, knocked down, nothing like that. All right, and that was at 54. You know, uh, against Madrimov, who is a very good fighter, great pedigree. Did not have a ton of pro fights, but still the guy was good and was a champion. Um, if Crawford would have went in there and dominated Madrimov and typical Terrence Crawford fashion, won wide, even if it was by decision, you know that would have made me feel a lot better about him fighting Canelo. But guys, and I didn't look it up before doing this video. What is Crawford now? Maybe 37 or so. 30 to 37, 38. Um, guys, I like Terrence Crawford. I've been a long time fan. He's a great fighter, a Hall of Famer, all time great, all that. All right. And I like when the smaller weight fighters go up in weight. Take on the big, the big challenge for greatness. Pacquiao versus De La Hoya, uh, Kell Brook fighting Triple G. I like when guys do this. I respect and I admire what he's doing. But let's be logical here, guys. Canelo, had a ton of experience at 54. Had a ton of experience at 160. Has had a ton of experience at 168. Has been in with much bigger guys, which of course size is not everything, but he is used to fighting pretty much always fighting guys who are bigger than him, naturally bigger than him, who've been fighting in the higher weight classes longer than him. And he has been beating these guys, man, super competitive. These guys on the back foot stand away from Canelo because he's so damn strong and shit, all right, and skilled and fast and all that. Canelo is the younger man in this fight. He is the more experienced fighter at 168. Terrence Crawford has not had a pro fight at 168. And I know he's in camp with guys like Steve Nelson and Lester Martinez and all that, but you know sparring and fighting for undisputed is two totally different things. All right, your sparring partners, your training camp buddies, and all that. They're not there trying to knock you out cold. I don't think so. All right, I'm not saying that they doing some pity pat shit, but it ain't the guy trying to knock your head off and turn your lights out. All right. Um, this is different, man. This is different. Canelo is used to handling his weight. He has been in with big punchers like Golovkin, like Kovalev, and these guys could not drop or stop Canelo, in multiple fights. Uh, guys, again, I admire what Terrence Crawford is doing, but after that Madrimov fight, man, it changed my opinion on this fight and what he would do in the ring with Canelo. It did. I know he has bulked up, he changed his physique, all that. Um, and while that may look good, while he just hadn't done this big time weight cut and all that, gonna be feeling natural and strong at the weight and all that. This will be his first time as a pro fighting at this weight class, against a guy who has a ton of experience at the weight class, trying to, attempt to fight a full 12 rounds, 36 minutes with an all time great at the weight and in general. All right. A guy who's younger than him, who is naturally bigger than him. All those things, man. So, if Terrence Crawford can pull this off, man, if he can, it will be an amazing feat and accomplishment, in my opinion. An all-time great accomplishment and feat in boxing. If he goes up and if he clearly outboxes, dominates Canelo, and if he stopped Canelo, damn, that would be earth-shattering. All right, it would be one of the most memorable things we will ever see in our lifetimes in boxing. It would be. Because, Canelo has not been dropped as far as I know. The only two times I saw him rocked was over 15 years ago, when the first time I ever saw him, when he fought Miguel Cotto's brother. All right, he was very young then. And, that was a long time ago. The other time was after he had been beating the hell out of Triple G in the second fight and had basically punched himself out, was getting tired, and Triple G hit him flush and just made him and rocked him. He didn't even drop him, he just rocked him, because the guy's chin is so good. All right. Those are the only times I can recall seeing Canelo hurt in fights, man. And this guy's had a long career, had a lot of fights, man. You know, uh, and having said that, Terrence Crawford does not have to drop Canelo to stop him. It could be one sided, it could be dominant. He could have him, busted up. Um, all those kind of things, man. Swollen eye, severe cuts, But when do we see Canelo looking like that? You know, and ask yourself this, guys, who was the better defensive fighter in this fight, or between these two guys? You know, I would say Canelo. I would say Canelo is more dynamic defensively and gets hit less. Maybe I'm wrong, because Crawford is good. We don't see him getting hit, busted up, dropped, all that kind of shit. You know, but yeah. So I'm giving Canelo the advantage in that situation also. All right. So guys, you know, my heart's with Crawford. You know, been a long time fan. Admire him going up in weight classes, trying to be 3-time undisputed. I admire and respect that. But let's be logical here, man. How can I pick Crawford when he does not have experience at his weight class, and he did not look that great in his last fight? All right, and he's aging. He's put on all this extra weight, muscle mass, taking on this big challenge, fighting an all-time great. First time at the weight, all that shit, man. A guy who has a great chin. Unless he gets faded all of a sudden, a great fighter in Canelo. All right, so uh, you know, Canelo is my pick in this fight. All right, but I'm not betting him. I'm not betting the money line. I'm not betting the outcome. I've only bet the draw, and I've put money on the fight not going the distance, because those were the values in the fight when it comes to betting. The values were not good enough on Crawford money line. The knockout prop was good, but I am not expecting that at all. You know, it plus 900, I think. Maybe plus 1,000 on in some books. It may have dropped now, but you know, I not touching it. I just rather just play the fight, not going the distance. That way, if either guy got a stoppage, I'd be covered. So, and that's what I did. All right, and by the way, I think that the general feeling in this fight is that Crawford is gonna stay outside, be on the back foot like he did with Victor Postal, like he did with I think it was John Molina. I think it's John Molina. So many Molinas in boxing, but years ago. guys, I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think Terrence Crawford is his. I think he's gonna try to feel out Canelo in the first round. Read him or whatever. But I think his strategy for the most part will be to be right in front of Canelo in the middle of the ring. You know, he I don't see him constantly moving away like he did with Victor Postal, like he did with Molina, guys who were front foot heavy coming after him. I don't see that happening, guys. Um, one big reason being Terrence Crawford was a younger fighter then. He was in his prime then. All right. We don't know what he's looking like in 2025 because he has not fought in basically a year. All right, and we don't know what he looks like at this weight class. But I don't see him, constantly backpedaling, moving like he did against those guys, man. I think for the most part he's gonna be right in front of Canelo, not afraid. He's not gonna be on some Jamil Charlo shit. You know, I think he'll be in front of Canelo more than most guys are and have been, especially at this weight class, because a lot of guys move away from Canelo. All right, um, so that's the way I'm viewing it. If he does have some back foot in his fight, I think it will be brief back foot. Like he will not be moving all around the ring, rope to rope, corner to corner, all that kind of shit. No, it will be a couple of steps back just for some spacing, but for the most part, he right there to engage with Canelo. That's what I think his strategy is, guys. I do. All right. So that's how I'm seeing the fight. And I'm enjoying it for the most part as a fan. This is not a big time money making opportunity to me. This is a chance to, enjoy the sport, enjoy the big fight as a fan, and not risk a lot of money on odds that are not that great. That's the way I view it. All right. Now, having said that, guys, I did some parlays uh this weekend. Uh, Two of them. All right. The one was for the Lewis Crocker fight, Crocker Donovan fight to not go the distance. All right. Um, I parlayed that with Steven Nelson on the money line. Cause Steven Nelson got my respect when he fought Diego Pacheco. Despite him being older, he was good. He had a lot of heart. He was tough as hell. Um, and was a winning fighter before he fought, a much bigger, younger guy, a very talented guy in Pacheco. Um, he's fighting a guy who, you know, by his box rec does not appear to have a lot of punching power, who has multiple losses. And I think he might have been stopped once. I can't remember. But I didn't bother playing, the fight going to distance or not, Nelson getting stoppage or not. I just simply played Steven Nelson to win because he should. From the money line that they gave, I thought it was a deal. All right, and the line has not moved much. You can get like minus 275, I think, on Steven Nelson. Against a guy who was like I think 14-6 or something like that. With like maybe 6 KOs and but has lost multiple times and I think was stopped once. So I'm like, hell yeah, this guy in camp with Crawford, he showed a lot to me last time he fought. So I threw that in the parlay. And for the third leg, I did it both ways, guys, because I do not expect this fight to go to distance because I'm pretty sure it's a 12-round fight because it's for the WBC interim title. And that is the Mbilli fight versus Lester Martinez. Two, big, scary, heavy hitters at 168. Both guys undefeated. Neither guy has lost. I view this as a kill or be killed fight. Mbilli is very heavy on the front foot, throws nothing but power punches, trying to bomb you out of there. Martinez, is more of the boxer out of the two, in my opinion. And could, what the guy has a predictable style. All right, they know what the guy's gonna come with. Everybody knows what the guy's gonna come with. All right. Could he catch a counter this guy? Could he hang in there long enough with him to where the guy gets tired and then he gets him out of there? Mbilli has been hurt in the past in fights. and survived. But were they heavy hitters like Lester Martinez? No, they were not. All right. This guy is heavy handed. He's dangerous. All right, Lester. They both are, and even though neither one has lost or been stopped, I have played. Well, I was gonna play the fight to not go the distance, but then when I did the knockout prop instead of that for both guys, you know, they gave when I was looking at it, they were giving like a plus 475, plus 450 on Lester by knockout. Uh, that pays pretty good in that parlay. All right. Um, and then when you put in Billy by knockout in, it was enough to do like it basically would be a hedge for me. All right. The real money for me in this fight will be Lester winning by knockout. So that's who I am rooting for because that's where the money is. All right, because the number's so big on him, a guy with legit skills and power. Um, but if Mbilli gets a knockout, then I'll just get my money back. All right, and I'm good with that. So that's the way I played it, guys. Instead of just playing the fight, not going the distance. Because you can make a lot more putting Lester by KO in, and if you pull the shit off, it'd be a great payday. All right. So those are my plays. You know, I hope this video finds you in time. Enjoy the fights. If you guys place any bets, I hope you guys make money. But for the most part, guys, this weekend is more of a celebration of boxing. Enjoy it as a fan type weekend. I have some bets, but for the big fight, I'm just gonna kick back and enjoy it, man. And when I get a chance, hopefully I can come on and comment. At some point, I will definitely comment about the outcome. But I hope, honestly, I want to see some guys get knocked the fuck out. That's what I want to see. I want to see a knockout in Canelo, Crawford, and in Mbilli and Lester. All right, I want knockouts in both fights. I want a memorable night, memorable moments. That's what I want. I don't want some, damn, that was disappointing. Damn, we didn't get any stoppages. I don't know. I want some action. I want to see guys go out. All right. So that's it. Good luck to you guys. Enjoy tonight. Thank you, Turkey. Thank you, Riyadh Season. Thank you, Dana White. For doing this. The first ever boxing card at Legion Stadium. I hope it looks amazing. I hope it's a grand spectacle and something we will never forget. All right. Enjoy the night as a fan, guys, and as a gambler. If you place any bets, good luck to you. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll check in with you guys soon. Thanks for watching.